All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to send all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passions with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. First, Happy New Year to everybody. And you know that we are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the NFL season, as well as any and all coverage throughout the year. The Dallas Cowboys 2023 season finale on the road against NFC East arch rival, the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys with a dominating 38-10 victory. Let's jump right into our numbers here. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 31 of 36 attempts, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tony Pollard, 17 carries, 70 yards, and 1 touchdown. C.D. Lamb, 13 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson, 6 catches, 69 yards. Rico Dowdell, 3 catches, 54 yards. Brandon Cooks, 6 catches, 39 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jalen Turbert, 2 catches, 8 yards, 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, Stephon Gilmore, 6 total tackles, 6 solo. Micah Parsons, 5 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Donovan Wilson, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 interception. Buddy Johnson, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Damon Clark, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Jordan Lewis, 3 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1 fumble recovery, and you even call it even a forced fumble. Dorrance Armstrong, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. DeMarcus Lawrence, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Jaron Kearse, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Deron Bland, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 interception. Sam Williams, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, half a sack. Marquise Bell, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Dante Fowler, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, 1.5 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Chauncey Golston, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. Wanye Thomas, 2 total tackles, 0 solo. You know that when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, we do not gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. Again, despite the score, a dominating performance, which if you listen to last week's broadcast, or the last broadcast of 2023, we stated that this is what the Cowboys should have done. Get Washington the hell up out of there early, start pulling starters, just start resting guys. And that's exactly what happened. Now, the Cowboys came out, dominated the first quarter. They really should have been up 14-0. But, again, they should have been passing the football. They had a first touchdown to really crack the game open. They ended up having a fumble or force a fumble. We mentioned that by Jordan Lewis. We felt that they should have scored a touchdown. They ended up trying to set up for a field goal. The field goal gets blocked, returned deep into Dallas territory, and the Commanders actually score on that. So that was the only issue with that. Special teams, somebody clearly missed an assignment, so that was bad then. But the good was that the Cowboys returned a favor by blocking a punt. So I was texting good friends of ours. It was good to return a favor, so that's a good thing. So definitely blocked the punt. The running game appeared to be well. I don't want to hear that Washington was down starters, because the Cowboys were down 2 starters on the offensive line, including a future first ballot Hall of Famer and a right on the cusp Pro Bowl player in Tyler Smith. So Zach Martin was out and Tyler Smith was out. So they can save those excuses. And by the way, when the Cowboys players are not there and they suffer through injuries, all of a sudden people take no pity or shame on the Cowboys. If anything, they rub it in our face. So we're not going to take any pity or shame when other teams are missing some of their top players. Speaking of injuries, Stephon Gilmore, hopefully he's okay. He made a great play on what should have been a touchdown on a trick play by Washington. So apparently it was a shoulder injury. The training staff was holding his right arm. So we're going to hope that Stephon Gilmore's okay going into next week, obviously going to the playoffs. So again, this is what the Cowboys needed to do. I didn't care anything about the Commanders playing a team like nothing to lose. I didn't care about being on the road against a division opponent. Go in there, blow them out, get some good reps in, and start building that good momentum into the playoffs. And we felt the Cowboys did just that. Even the missed kick by the kicker, Aubrey, we were actually happy he missed the kick, because all those 35 or 35, it was perfect all season. And they mentioned this during the broadcast, people who have these perfect seasons, i.e. Gary Anderson back in 1998. So it's good that he took the miss in this game and came back later on and nailed a 50-yarder with ease, split it right up the upright. So that's nothing to worry about. We're good to go. I don't think kicking is an issue, unlike last year with Brett Maher. So we're definitely good to go on that. And congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys winning the NFC East, or the 2023 Dallas Cowboys winning the NFC East. Folks, who would have thought when the Eagles was rolling 10-1, but the Cowboys stayed consistent, stayed in their games. Again, a bad loss against San Francisco. We stated too, they had an opportunity to reel off some wins because they were playing, less than stellar competition. They did what they had to do. 2 bad losses. The one that got crushed against Buffalo and Miami, 2 straight losses, but they righted the ship. But then we kept noticing that the Eagles was losing and they were starting to come back to the pack. They played in some tough games, quite frankly, some games that they could have lost against Kansas City, games that they could have lost against Buffalo. I don't think they ever recovered physically in between that Buffalo and San Francisco game. They really did not have recovered physically. We beat the brakes off of them. So, and of course, we were not watching the score against Philadelphia. We were concerned about our business, and that's all we are concerned about, especially when it comes to game time. So the Dallas Cowboys, 2020 Dallas Cowboys, the NFC East winner is a number 2 seed in the NFC. Again, who'd have thought it, where the Eagles started off at 10-1. They're running roughshod on everybody, including beating the Cowboys in a very competitive game. So that's why these NFL seasons are a marathon and they're not a sprint. Congratulations to the Cowboys, staying focused, staying on top of their game, and doing what it is that they had to do. Now, let's start looking into next week. Playing the Green Bay Packers wild card game. We'll be the first ones to get the storylines out the way. The Green Bay Packers. Now, for those of us that's old enough to remember those classic Packer and Cowboys games with Brett Favre coming to Dallas with the Sterling Sharps and Robert Brooks, and once they lost to the Cowboys, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the last NFC Championship game the Cowboys went to before their last Super Bowl, and that's back in the 95-96 season. So let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Those classic games in the 90s, Packers-Cowboys, were classic games if you could only be old enough to actually remember those times. 2016, the Packers come in town, then led by Mike McCarthy. Dak Prescott's rookie year. We were actually at that game, and we were hoping the Cowboys, they would have made a run, but they were the number 1 seed, and they got knocked out. So, again, Mike McCarthy loses his job, gets hired on by the Cowboys, makes a return to Lambeau Field during the 2022 season. The Cowboys, they should have won that game, but it was a Dak Prescott with the interception, as well as, again, you still have Aaron Rodgers, with all the players that they have. Now it's a new era in Green Bay. And you know what? We're going to give this kid Jordan Love credit. Folks, Jordan Love took the Packers to the playoffs, which is something that Aaron Rodgers didn't do. Aaron Rodgers' first year was 2008. They went 6-10. This kid, his first year, they go 9-8, and they qualified for the playoffs. And they have some offensive pieces here and there. So the Cowboys should not go there thinking that they're playing a 9-8 team and it's going to be a cakewalk. They have some weapons there. We are vulnerable to some plays here and there. So let's be mindful of that. The Cowboys have been vulnerable to big plays. The Packers do have weapons here and there. The best way to get rid of this kid is rattle him, hit him often, and hit him hard. Micah Parsons should not be the only person that's generating a pass rush. We need other players to step up. Again, the Dorrance Armstrongs and the Sam Williams and the Dante Fowlers. It's time for them to make a stand. I saw we got big bad Jonathan Hankins back into the saddle, so that's a good thing, which should help the run defense. So the Cowboys, wild card, congratulations to the team. But now let's forget about the Washington win. Let's really lock it on Green Bay, playing against a kid in his first career playoff start, and they should whip his ass from the opening whistle, and it should just be the wrath of the pass rush just coming on this kid. Hopefully Stephon Gilmore, that he's okay, and Mike McCarthy, watch your ego. Don't try to pour it on to be anything extra to prove their Packers that they shouldn't have fired you. Coach smart. Don't make any dumb decisions. Stay within your bubble. Don't try to prove a point to prove you're the smartest person in the room or just stick it to Green Bay. win the football game, and move on to the next week. That should be the focus, is beating the Packers. So, folks, as we welcome you to 2024, once again, Happy New Year. We're definitely excited. We definitely want to congratulate the 2023 Dallas Cowboys for winning the NFC East division, being the number 2 seed, and again, hosting a playoff game against a solid Green Bay Packers team. Do not think it's going to be a cakewalk again. This is a playoffs. This is not best of 7 series versus other sports. The better team usually prevails during a best of 5 or best of 7 series. This is a one game. That's it. So whoever is a better team that day, they move on. So the Cowboys need to remember that. We love the attitude of Dak Prescott during the Fox OT post game when he said, "I'm not even wearing the NFC East Championship hat. We have bigger goals." So stay focused on our goals, stay locked in, and let's do what we have to do against the Green Bay Packers during the wild card round. And until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio signing out. And once again, if you want to send us an email, we are at chinchecksportsradio@gmail.com. Once again, chinchecksportsradio@gmail.com. And until next time, signing out.